Hello and welcome to another Fleet Ops audio commentary brought to you by ClintSat. We've got an awesome match ahead of you today on Final Frontier 2 version 1.1. We've got some great teams. Let me go ahead and start with the bottom team. We've got little Timmy, who is the purple Romulans. His partner is Arash 8472 Boggz. And the final player for the bottom team is Boggz, who is the red Romulans. Top team, starting out in the top right, we have Elim, orange Boggz, Stardust, yellow Romulans, and we've got, just a second here, looks like Butterbread as the white Klingons. So great players, should be a great game. Right now, doing a little test to see if the wormhole on this map will cause out of sync. Looks like it will not. It's great. This wormhole provides good transit all the way across the map. Does shorten the map quite a bit. Makes it much easier to raid, especially early game. So, just to give you a little tour of the map, we've got the wormhole that crosses the middle, several expansions and some nebulas all through the middle. Natural expansions pretty close to the players. It's really a fun map. Really a fun map. Lots of places to go. Lots of open space. So at this point, I think we can check out and see which avatars we've got playing. Looks like Timmy is Helev. So expect to see some small yard ships. Looks like it might be, he could be going for some generics. We'll see if he puts some Riens there. Yeah, probably some Laval and Riens, looks like. Arash sporting the optimized avatar. Doing some mining. Pretty basic Boggz things. Looks like he might even go for early economy. Boggz already churning out some Shrikes. Interesting choice. That means he's Majoral. And the Shrike's interesting ship. Counters that short range. But they're pretty weak and really not a good substitute for the pretty awesome Rien. We'll see how it works for him. Looks like he's moving in, already going to go for early expansion. Shrikes, they're not cheap, but they are cheap enough that he might be able to get away with building a yard up here. Let's see. Checking up top, Elim is assimilate. Expect to see some assimilators. Don't see any probes going up there, so probably an assimilator rush. Get one or two of those together, maybe even three, and you can really do a number on a lot of the early game ship fleets. Stardust is Helev, and he is launching some Laval. Not a bad deal for him. He can get to his expansion pretty quick. Well, it's a little bit further Tritanium, so that might hurt him in the short term. But once he gets a few of those Laval out, it'll be pretty good. Butterbread already expanding, has his large yard there. Looks like he's setting up for maybe a Sang and Cabbage strategy. It's pretty good on this map, especially since he does have a Boggz to contend with. And double large yards. Look at that, folks. I smell some double yard Sang. Sang, a great ship against the Boggz. Just throw out a ton of torpedoes. It might not be that great against the Romulans, but it's not really countered by any of those Lavals. So we'll see how that goes. I don't see him queuing any up yet. Do hear some combat, see some Shrikes. And the strikes are going to do okay against the Laval as far as damage output, but they are not going to be able to get a kill off. They are medium range. The Laval does extra to medium. Just going to murder him. As you see, the strikes are moving away. He's going to hide in there, but I don't even know if that will save him. Do we see the Sang? Ally repair there, and the Sang. Folks, this looks like this is going to be a pretty awesome game. I don't know about you, but I am excited. Research Institute going over here. Still more strikes. Bringing it back to that battle. We do have a Scout Cube. Again, the strikes should do okay against the Scout Cube, but pulses aren't going to do as much to that. And the Scout Cube is an EM cube, so is going to be able to tail this guy. Will he get away? Looks like he gets away, and masterful work by Boggz using this one as a distraction, getting it out, getting the other one out. Definitely a good job. Tied up a lot of ships here, a lot of ships for the top team. Keeps them on the defensive. You notice on the map, not a lot going on. We do have a scout covering what Arash might build. He's getting close to 50 CC, so I would imagine he is definitely going to pop out a sphere. Looks like we're having a little trouble getting the Lavals going here. Do see Rien out. Yeah, not much else going on there. There's some beaming. Not a bad deal. I think he might even be able to get it. He's gonna pop through that wormhole. Do we see it? And yeah, another EM cube. Interesting. Does have enough connections for some form of assimilator, but does not seem to have the resources yet. Star still throwing out some Lavals. And we do see some Cabbage still queued up. And you know, I think what Butters might be doing is trying to make sure he has some good sturdy ships to tank for some of those Sang. And the Sang have a tendency to miss a lot of the early game ships, so not a bad choice in getting the economy up, but still producing those a little bit cheaper to pump out Cabbage. A little raiding over here to kill a miner. Not a bad deal. Warbird yarded up. Sailors. Now these are going to be great against the simulators, so definitely a pretty good move. Does explain why there aren't quite as many ships out as you might expect. Romulan early game. Lots of miners here. I'm not sure what is going on. I think maybe Arash forgot to build his resource collector there. Sphere chassis up. Does not have the dilithium. Looks like he will definitely have it in a second. A couple seconds. That'll be a nice boon to the bottom, where we do see it's still mostly small ships. Once these Sang start churning out, though, whoo. Good coordination by the top team. You know, trailing. Well, I don't think he knows his fleet's here, but a little bit of attack there, a little bit of attack on this side, keeping them on their toes. Good use of Green Nebula. Interesting. We do see that Elim is sneaking his note off there. And this, by and large, should be fairly unnoticed. I'm not sure if the scout that went through that wormhole could see him. And if he did, I'm not sure he noticed. Nice good group of strikes. A little combat over here. Some Lavals from Timmy. Pushing out these Boggz. Down here, scout cubes going off. Doing good damage here. Let's see if they catch. Oh, and they did get this. They got the cloak tech scout. Even if they don't keep it, it's not that big of a deal. It's a fairly expensive unit, but it looks like they are going to get away with it. So, Laval chasing those. We have some Laval fighting against the Sailor here. A whole lot of Laval. Scout cubes going off there. Boggz doing some damage. Lots of Romulan players means lots of minor kills. It really does. There's just not a lot of defense for them. They go down so fast, even when you're trying to repair. Now, I bet we see a Boggz maybe go down. We'll see how much energy's left. They might make it. Does go down. Scout keeps still going there. Strikes moving in. Strikes have pretty good damage output. I hear beaming. There we go. Wasn't quite sure where it was. Looks like they just captured a scout, maybe. There's a lot of raiding going on. Wouldn't be surprised if these guys turn around and hit this. Looks like that's what they're going to do. They might wait until that miner comes out. They'll definitely get the kill if they do that. These Laval are sitting around here. They might be able to make it back. Sphere building. Should be another sphere on the map at some point. There it is at the top. This is a bit dangerous. It's by itself, facing a couple different cloakers. I'm not sure I would do that. Does have there's Sang still going out there. Nice little trap here. And I think this sphere is in for some hurt. I really do. And what it did do is it did basically drain the energy completely out of this turret. So now it's pretty much useless unless he decides to get a singularity transmitter. But I think these Laval can take this sphere. They do a little extra to long range. Alright, long range, sorry, the medium range. And they attack primarily with the beam weapon, so there's no reduction. Star doing a great job of getting his ships out. We're going to go through the wormhole. That's going to save a little bit of time. And it looks like the Laval go right there with him, and he's going to just go back and forth. Nice combat here. Some